Sometimes, from time to time.
I didn't know you could do that.
Okay, that's good.
Da, 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 da.
You talk to your tweeter.
Charge.
We're live there.
She sells seashells by the seashore. How much woodchuck?
This is sweet.
Isn't that cool?
I used to have one. It wasn't a mesh. It was just a white hat, and I used to wear it, and everyone's like, so you really like NFL? I'm like,
yeah, man.
Like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But this is sweeter because it's the trucker.
Yeah, it's nice.
Is that yours? Did you buy it?
I bought it from the Leeds page. Yeah,
that's a nice one. I don't know where
I'll bring in my. I got a Nuggets hat over the summer at a garage sale signed by LaFonso Ellis.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got shoes signed by Linus Kaleza. So
That's cool, too.
move over.
That's all good stuff, man.
I'm gonna read Kliss tonight as a wine drunk gay man.
That's not what he sounds like, though.
I know, but
All right.
if he were a wine drunk gay man.
All right, I got to figure out why tell them that it's human nature. What mic is that? That's
This is 4. You just shut me off.
I shut you off.
You shut. Yeah, that's
that
3.
Then. That's 3.
This one is 3. Yes.
Okay, now we got it.
Okay.
Although, hold on a second, I'm going to change mine. I would like to have
an input.
I would like to have some nice compression on my vocals, just like you guys. Why?
Tell them that it's human nature. Why would you do it that way?
It's like playing a game. Are you ready to rock?
I've never been more ready.
Are you ready to rock? Okay, ready? You guys ready? You guys ready? All ready?
Can I have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I barely drank
Are we live?
in a while.
Are we live?
I wish I could say that I had. Also,
Tried. It's great.
I'm sure.
I had a gum surgery, and I've been like,
Yeah.
it sucked, and I've been in a lot of pain.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's finally
I would
subsided.
think whiskey would be ideal for that.
I have not
circumstance.
drank at all. This is the first I've drank in a while.
I had a tooth thing,
Yeah.
and I thought for sure I was going to have to get a root canal.
Uh-huh.
Miraculously, it's good.
That's
I
good.
have no idea how it happened.
That is.
I wanted to take pliers and rip the mother out of my mouth.
That's a blessing. That's what they
it's
call
a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yes.
All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready to go. Let me know when
you're
you're
ready
ready.
to rock. Okay.
I will hit record when you guys are ready.
Now. Live from Podcast Row, right next to the Family Dollar in Atlanta's Westgate Shoppette, 2 miles from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is the South Stand Denver Fancast. I'm Colin Daniels with producer Scott Stafford and your host, the mayor of Titty City, John Reed. Fuck yeah! Fucking sports, bitches!
Sam!
Oh!
Woo!
Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah.
Here we go! Here we go! Yeah! Woo!
Oh, wrong part.
Oh my God!
Woo! Oh, God!
I wish you could hear this at home, you YouTubers, but you can't because we'll get sued. So we're really rocking out with that
That's
sort
good
of
times.
Woo! It's good stuff. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's good to be back. Lots happened. We haven't been doing. What was this around Thanksgiving or?
Yeah, it was in early November.
It's been a while.
This might be our longest break ever.
Not ever, but it's
close.
It's up there for sure.
Close.
So, but it's good to be back here with you fellas. I know a lot of people were bugging us to get back on it.
Five people.
Well, okay.
All 5 of you.
But now you don't account for the rest of the people who might have wondered but were too lazy or didn't care enough to ask about it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those people.
Well, and there is an element in the popularity of a podcast relating to its predictability. You got to know when it's coming. And for that, we apologize. But we're old, crotchety, married men with lives and commitments and all kinds of things.
I was thinking about this the other day. So, bands over the year, like artists, musicians, right? Like when they're young and they're hungry, they're putting out like 2 albums a year and it's awesome and it's fantastic. And then all of a sudden it kind of slows down. And then they're putting out an album every 3 or 4 years. But when that album comes out, you're looking forward to it.
You're looking forward
and it's
to
great.
Right? I think
that's kind of where we're at in this kind of stuff.
So what you're saying we're podcast Weezer.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know about
Weezer.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But
it's good to get back in the saddle. It's nice, but you're right. There's a lot of things that come up, and everyone's like, last week I had an injury and just wasn't feeling up to it.
My daughter's got a concert.
Yeah, so it's just stuff. I think, and everybody has a podcast these days, obviously, but there's people who probably have less going on that can dedicate some time to it. And that's
Jake Marsing.
just keep on trucking, folks. You'll hit that spot where you're like, oh God, I got to go do the podcast. I can't. No, that's not going to happen. So
well, and a big part of the problem is too, when we do the podcast, we tend to inebriate ourselves. And that's difficult for guys our age to do many times per week.
Right. It makes tomorrow so much more difficult today.
It does a little bit, but I also find that it helps loosen things up. Like you start talking, and the first part's okay. You kind of get your feet wet, and I feel that once you get the beer in you, and then everything's kind of clicking, I think it really kicks into gear at that point.
Yeah, so. I really do think that more entertainers and radio people and podcasters should be alcoholics.
Absolutely.
I endorse it.
But we got a ton to talk about, and I don't know where you want to dive in because we've got lots of Rockies stuff, loads of Broncos stuff.
I think where we need to start is the Johnny Bolin Vance Joseph video.
Well,
I think it's the greatest thing maybe to ever happen in the history of Denver sports.
Wow, that's saying something. I mean, not only just that, but just Johnny Bolin in general, like. If that was your kid, now granted, Pat Bolin is obviously incapacitated. He can't really do anything about it. But no one can go, hey, your kid is fucking out of control, and he's really embarrassing everyone because he's a grown man, right? He's like probably in his late 30s at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But here's the question: is that what we need?
To run the Broncos?
Yeah. Honestly, yes. I think we are all advocating for that, and we should continue to advocate for that because we need our own Mark Davis right here in Denver.
Mark Davis, by all accounts, is like a pretty down-to-earth, smart guy.
True.
Johnny Bolin is not. That guy's
woo! We're gonna get us a quarterback, baby. Yeah.
It's a catastrophe, and I
think so are the Broncos. It's a perfect match.
I for one welcome him. So all the stuff going on today, and Goodell was like, well, I think maybe we'll have to step in here and do something. Basically, he's just kind of like letting everyone know, hey, let's wrap this up.
Did you notice that he talked about Pat Bolin in past tense?
Yes. Yes. That's one of my notes. Roger Goodell thinks Pat Bolin is dead, so we'll just cross that off the list.
Well, he could be saying it in the fact that Pat can't make any decisions, and so therefore his role in that is effectively dead. I mean,
he said, "I knew him."
Yeah, I knew him
in the past tense.
He was a great guy. Or something.
Again, I think the horrible thing about that disease is that it does render somebody pretty much unrecognizable. So, in a sense, he's not wrong, but he probably didn't know. That's kind of like what did Stephen A. Smith thought that. Hunter Henry was playing for the Chargers that time, and then he'd been out for most of the season. Yeah, so I think most of those guys they got a lot going on. They don't really pay attention too much. But I just think I love the drama, but obviously it's affecting the Broncos negatively, and I want it to be resolved. Hopefully by him saying that and kind of going, yeah, this isn't what he wanted, and this is we want to get this resolved. I hope that at least pushes them in the right direction.
I still want to know what Vance Joseph was doing hanging out with Johnny Bolin. And I'm very disappointed in the local media for not reporting on this story more extensively. I mean, there was a tweet from Nikki Jabavala, and there was a tweet from Mike Klis. That was it. Like, where's the? I want information. Now, here's what I understand from somebody I talked to. That night, the night the infamous video was posted, there was a big fight, the big boxing match. And it was on pay-per-view only in one of the few places downtown where it was available was at Diamond Cabaret. And so the prevailing theory is they were at the Diamond Cabaret together. And while Mike Klis tried to cover the tracks on the story by saying they simply bumped into one another, I don't think anybody with half a brain is buying that. And if Vance and Johnny Bolin are hanging out together at Diamond Cabaret the one time, can't you insinuate or infer or assume that they've hung out together before? And that's where I think the significance of that particular story comes in, is who is Vance Joseph really, and what kind of shit was going down?
Don't you think if you're Vance Joseph's wife, after all of the shenanigans that he's probably put her through, he'd be like, hey, I'm going to the strip club to watch. But she'd be like, no fucking way you aren't. No way. You would never let him go out.
And if you do, don't stand with Johnny Bolin on camera on Instagram and say a goddamn thing. What the fuck was he thinking? What? It's such bad decision making.
We know he's a bad decision maker to begin with. Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
But what I was going to
it's character. That's what he does.
What I was going to say is, what if, now you said that the some of the major Broncos writers were kind of like, and I don't even think Nikki covered. She kind of just went like, wow. Or
she retweeted something.
And I think, what if that it's kind of common knowledge that they say, stay away from this guy. Don't report on his comings and goings because he's a fucking lunatic, and the family really doesn't want any of that promoted. I guarantee you that's probably, if not said outright, it's probably something that goes unspoken.
Which is why it's so important that SouthStandsDenver.com exists.
Absolutely. I wish we had the audio of it. It was great. But that guy's a nut, and I hope he.
He's a gangster.
I hope
you are. He was a gangster.
But wasn't he saying like they're gonna fire Vic Fangio and then like hire Mike Shanahan? That's what he wanted. It was like, dude, you have no say in this team whatsoever, right? Your dad probably, before he got sick, probably knew this a long time ago and was like, please, whatever you do not put Johnny in charge of anything, not even getting the paper towels for the bathroom. Please, please don't do it.
Now I'm thinking of this. Is this kind of like fuck it. Oh, let him vote for Trump. Let's see what happens.
Well, we know. Remember, we were kind of joking around with that too. It was like, I remember joking about voting for Trump, and then we saw what happened. So he's basically like a kind of a mean, shitty Billy Madison is what he is, and he just kind of sucks. And he's doing what he wants. He's got a rich dad, and he's probably gotten away with a ton of shit in the past. And hopefully, at this point, once they can kind of move beyond the Bolin family, they can leave Johnny in the past. So,
and now we've got this new coaching staff coming in that everybody is just so high on. Like, we've got this all-star coaching staff. Oh my God, I can't believe they got this guy and that guy and the other guy. And oh my God, they're set for life now. I mean, the Broncos are going to be so good forever. We don't know a fucking thing. None of these guys have been in these roles before. It's all people who have a position higher than any they've held before in the NFL, except like quarterback coaches and linebacker coaches. It's a whole mishmash of dudes from all kinds of places. We have no idea if they're going to be any good at all. And if you listen to the local media and the local bloggers and everybody else, it's just constant fucking slobbing on their wieners. Like, this coaching staff is amazing.
They're still stuck with the same crappy offense. So I'm sure they could probably get something more out of it that Vance Joseph could, but they still have to work with that crap unless some major things happen. So I just love all the things of like the guys that are going to be drafted and everyone's slobbering over the quarterbacks. And it's like, man, you don't even know. You don't know how any of these guys are going to work out. You don't even know if they're going to be available. And everyone's just it's the news cycle. They have to do it. They have to push the story because they got to get everybody talking or keep talking.
And on that note, it's so funny to me that all these people from Denver get sent down to Atlanta to cover the Super Bowl, and yet they have to do their entire show on what about this Super Bowl relates and how to the Broncos? It's so fucking obnoxious. What about the way the Rams made it to the Super Bowl? What can that tell us about the coming year for the Broncos? We'll talk about that after the break.
That's really how local news is in Denver, and always has been. And I don't know if it's that way in other states, but it's always been like, hey, somebody blew up a mailbox in fucking Virginia, and how does that? Oh, somebody from Colorado was in the city at that point, and let's talk to them. And they're always trying to tie it in. It's always a thing where they have to make sure they have a link to here. But that's, of course, if you've got Broncos centric radio stations, you have to bring it back to that. Instead of, like, I always thought they could just go full NFL, because everyone loves the NFL. Everyone follows it. You could just go full NFL and you don't have to tie it back into the Broncos. You got enough people here that probably aren't Broncos fans at all anyway, so you don't even have to talk about it, but they feel the need.
So I haven't been listening.
Oh, I haven't either.
But you have, right, Colin?
I listen to sports radio every day.
I feel like
morning and evening.
I feel like the main story here is, can the Patriots break the Broncos records of most losses in the Super Bowl?
Oh, I hope so.
Like that's the thing, right? Like that's right. Isn't that what we're all rooting for?
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't that be leading like every single?
I'm actually rooting for the Patriots.
No.
Yes, I am.
Yes, why?
Why? Not me.
Gambling reasons.
Well, that's fine. I understand the gambling reasons, but for pure humanitarian reasons, you shouldn't be rooting.
No, I can't root for Aqib Talib.
I love Talib.
And Wade Phillips. I love Wade Phillips. Why? I love him, but I don't want to see him win a Super Bowl somewhere else.
I do. I want him to. I want the Broncos to go, oh shit, we really fucked that up, didn't we? I want them to see it. I want them to understand what they did and realize that they could have had that and they could have kept it all together, except who knows? They said money, ego, all that bullshit. No, I want those guys to win. And as you know, I'm a Kroenke man. And I'm a Kroenke man, and I support my Kroenke teams. So if you support the Nuggets or the Avalanche, you got to support my Rams too.
I was in London, right, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they love Kroenke over there.
They hate Kroenke over there.
They're not Kroenke, man.
I had like a 20-minute conversation about Stan Kroenke in an Uber from the airport to downtown. They're not happy with and they're completely switching their allegiance. Like, I was an Arsenal guy, but not anymore. And now they're now they're all into Chelsea and all these other teams.
Well, listen, that's typical of communists. They would do that. They would switch allegiances, like they're those commies over there in England with their socialized medicine and bullshit like that, right? So you got to stick with the Kroenkes. You got to stick with the Kroenkes. Now, all these people crying from St. Louis, crying because their team moves, like, fuck that. I have no sympathy for you. The Rams are back where they should be. Kroenke's in charge. He's going to bring the Lombardi back to Los Angeles where it should be. And I'm rooting for the Rams all the way.
I'm in as well. I'm all in on Rams.
Totally. I'm going to root for the Patriots.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
You know what? I've heard people say this. They were like, I don't care if the Patriots win because it'll be funny because everyone gets so upset by it. I do enjoy that aspect of it because everyone's so upset by Tom Brady. And it's like, Tom Brady's fucking awesome. Now, you can dislike him as a person. You can dislike the Patriots and their shitty fans. You can dislike him because they probably cheated for probably 75%.
I hope they cheat this year.
But you can't dislike what Tom Brady has done. He's awesome to watch. The dude's like 40 years old. He's
41.
He's 41. He's out there kicking ass.
It's so impressive.
You got to respect it. And I think if he were to win again, and this is what I was saying last year, if he wins, maybe he'll retire. And then once he retires, it's fucking over. And then those guys are going back to the dark ages. And then we can just laugh at them for the rest of the fucking eternity.
I saw that there was some local TV station that had a picture of Tom Brady, and underneath it, instead of like Patriots quarterback, they put known cheater.
Oh, he got fired.
He did.
It was in Pittsburgh. That was a Pittsburgh TV station.
Really?
And the guy lost his job.
Cheater. Yeah, I know.
He got accurate description. He got suspended for cheating.
It's an accurate description.
They cheated, and that's the whole thing about the Patriots. And it's like people are like, you can't root for them. I was rooting for them to beat the Chiefs, of course, because any normal fucking Bronco fan would say, yes, we want them to beat the fucking Chiefs. But the whole thing is that you can always come back to point to the fact that they cheated and they don't deserve these fucking Super Bowls. And that's, if they win another one, who cares? They probably cheated, so fuck them. So we got to take a break.
Like right now?
Yeah, we cooked through it. See, that's the thing. We started slow, got cooking, we couldn't stop. So it's like a runaway train. So
it's 24 ounces of beer is what it takes to get the ball rolling.
Hey, this is really fun, by the way. This is the London, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra doing Buddy Holly songs, and
nice.
It's really, really sweet.
Okay.
So enjoy.
We'll hear that, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Dude, that's really cool.
So they took the original tapes, the Buddy Holly tapes, the original tapes, and then they put orchestration to it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's really fantastic.
That is fantastic.
I know.
Is that on Spotify?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's on Apple.
London Philharmonic.
The Royal Philharmonic.
Royal
Yeah,
Philharmonic.
It's really cool. I mean,
That's
it's
So
fucking
everybody
phenomenal.
watching at home, we're gonna have Captain Bronco here coming up soon, right?
Yeah. When do we want to do that? Like right after the questions?
let's. You could do that.
Again, we're the only ones that can hear it, right? We can hear
They can't. No.
They can't. It'll record into this,
Yes.
but he has to hear like me talk to him.
He will,
through
just
your
through
phone.
the phone.
He can hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we did for Scoop, right? Same
It
thing.
works fine.
Okay.
Did
So
guys-
you won't be able to hear him at all. I don't
No,
worry about
no,
it.
no. It's whatever.
That's him anyway. Captain Bronco won't be able to hear Captain Bronco talk.
That's right. Which is good because you won't get the echoes.
Take this moment to show you Scoop's literature erotica.
His new album drops.
His new album, Literature Erotica, by Brian Scoop Nemeth. We're gonna hopefully get this burned and we can play some of it.
It's available from $5 to $10, your choice, at every local Scoop Nemeth. So
Yeah, homeless man turned roommate with benefits. I really want to hear that.
I really want to hear that one.
That's what I want to hear.
I want to hear that one.
That one sounds pretty
It
damn
sounds like the best one, maybe.
Yep.
Thicker skin, and I'm in her zone.
Her zone.
Interesting.
I wonder how many.
Friday night, a great night for a heavy date. Heavy in what sense? Like
I wonder
heavy
how
like
many.
hefty, or heavy like
It's heavy.
it's heavy. It's heavy. Or both.
I wonder how many local newscasters or female local celebrities have inspired those tracks.
Are those the only 3 tracks?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how long it is, but
Woo! It's hot for sure. I'm into it. All right, are we gonna? You guys want to talk about Vegas at all? Because I got like a sweet track to bring up Vegas talk.
I don't know. We can ask him.
I feel like he would.
He probably would.
Yeah, kind of felt like that was.
You know
on the
what?
agenda.
I will tell you this. I wanted to get the fuck out of there after 36 hours. I wanted to get the fuck out. Like the second night, I was like, I don't want to be here. I was like, I want to go home. But it was really fun to have money in those games and sit there and watch them, because everybody was fucking into it. They had some interest here, some interest there. You know what I mean?
Whether it's a fan or financial,
It was mostly financial.
Yeah.
And there was people that were obviously fans. They were wearing jerseys or whatever, but everybody had there was a dude sitting, we were just sat in the lounge there of the El Cortez. And this dude had a stack of tickets, like this high, like betting slips. So he had massive bets on everything. And it was just amazing. But
I feel like the best course of action, just so you can really have fun, is to place bets against your team.
yeah,
So if your team won, you're happy.
you're happy. Sure.
And if
sure.
they lost, you're still happy.
You still win. Yeah.
It also sucks, but it's still at least it's not all one way or
if
one.
it's
all
gonna work out for you,
Yeah.
if it's a smart bet. But It's cool though, man. Because like, what was it? The Seahawks game. The Seahawks game had a crazy finish, and that like a bunch of us made money on that because of that crazy finish, and then people were just kind of like stunned. And
yeah, Bears game had a bad finish. Well,
the Bears game killed me.
Chicago guy.
That killed me. That killed me. That fucked
Hey,
me.
did you want to talk about Vegas at
Super
all
hard.
coming in? 'Cause I've got like a perfect Vegas song to pump back into. Let's talk about some Vegas stuff.
We can. When do you want to call Captain?
How about we just do it at halftime? We do it at halftime?
I was binge watching all the Tim and Eric's because I got a free trial of Hulu. That's all on Hulu.
You know, it's only like $5 a month. Just throwing it out there.
But commercial free is like 11 or something.
I do the $5.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I'll watch it maybe like 3 or 4 days a month, maybe.
See, I
It's
don't
worth
watch
it.
that much TV. I mean, I watch TV, but
I hear
like
you.
I watch specific things, and like other than that, I'm like watching games and shit. But I binge watched Tim and Eric, and like early on in the first season, there's the sports thing.
Yeah.
And it's a modified one, kind of like the one I made for this. It's not the whole thing, but it's really fucking funny. Like it's so fucking funny because then they have like they show people playing things, and it's like people are playing hockey, and then it says Iced Canes, and it has all these like fucking weird names for it.
It's pretty awesome.
Dude, it's really funny.
I've been listening to that Tim Heidecker album, the newest one. You know, the
Is that
Mega
good?
song, the Mega, that song.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome. We're gonna make America great again. That's the best song on there. We watched Hulu yesterday actually. My daughter is having a friend come into town who really wants to go to Casa Bonita because of South Park.
Of course.
She's 13. She's never seen South Park because we're a bit of protective parents.
Yeah.
We're like, let's do it. So we
Watch the South Park.
hopped on a Hulu. Ended up watching like 3 episodes.
I watched Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo episode with my son when he turned 8.
Oh wow!
On the Christmas when he was 8. I was like, it's time.
Christmas tradition.
And he cracked up like nobody's business.
Yeah, they love it.
Oh my daughter couldn't believe it. She was the one constantly laughing, like just amazed that cartoon characters could.
I let my youngest kid watch Deadpool fairly recently, and I kept that away from them for a while, and then because it's super violent, and it's got some pretty fucking crazy jokes, and I think I only fast forward it through. There's this really long, crazy like sex scene, and normally like if it's fast, I don't worry about it, but it's like super long and real graphic, and I was kind of like. And he kind of was like, didn't want to watch it.
Super
He doesn't want to watch it with
too.
you.
You don't want to watch it.
Not with you, no.
I remember watching it on an airplane, Deadpool, and that scene, and me just like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
All right.
All right, I've got a read and then questions.
So I'm going to play a song. It's going to be somewhat that'll get into like betting Vegas, give you that
Okay.
chance to talk about it,
Sure.
and then we'll kind of go after that. And then let's get Captain Bronco to halftime.
Okay.
Sound like a plan? Are you there, Captain? Captain, halftime.
Maybe.
Halftime. It's a good time. Remember, it's an hour earlier there. He's got plenty of time. It allows him. It's only 7:16. Allows him. He's got some time to throw down some more drinks.
All right. Who's ready?
Some more whiskey.
Hold on, somebody just texted me. It's probably Captain Bronco. No. All right.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll hit record.
You got to read then questions, right?
Yeah. All right, ready. Make Denver lame again at the Leech Pit, Colorado's favorite vintage record and sweetware. God damn it, sweetware. Well, that too. Make Denver lame again at the Leech Pit, Colorado's favorite record and streetwear shop is now in the Mile High City, inside the Annex at Sportique Scooters, 162 South Broadway, in the shadow of downtown Denver. The Leech Pit is the place for unique and hard-to-find items, toys, clothing, records, and collectibles. From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Star Wars, Fred Perry to Steve Perry, even old sports collectibles. Nowhere in Denver will you find a more unique experience than the Leech Pit. Pop in, and please tell them the South Stand sent you. Were Chiefs fans really salty after the AFC Championship game, or were they just sweating out cured meats? Was that loss to the Patriots to once again miss the Super Bowl the most brutal thing to happen at Arrowhead Stadium since Javon Belcher? If the Chiefs want a Lamar Hunt trophy, will they have to actually exhume his body and mount it onto a wooden plaque? Are the only rings that Andy Reid will ever wear on his fat fingers battered and deep fried? If God wanted Donald Trump to be president, was it also his idea to put Tom Brady in the Super Bowl again? Does the new Broncos quarterbacks coach, a.k.a. Kristen McCartney's love child, hate fags as much as Grandpa? Having had children with not one but two of Coach Mac's players, could it be said that Kristen was the real promise keeper in the family? Does Johnny Bolin have aspirations to run for governor of Bootyland? Did he invite Vance Joseph down to the Diamond because the sexual assault there is consensual? Since the Super Bowl is in Atlanta, will Ray Rice wear a white suit everywhere he goes? Should the Rockies get it over with and officially become a farm team for the Yankees? Has any Bud Light drinker ever stopped to wonder what the ingredients were? Has Jared Bednar considered pulling the goalie for the entire game? And how often does Katie Wingy have to tell Scott Hastings, my eyes are up here? You have questions. We have answers. SouthStandsDenver.com, Colorado's finest internet sports talk since 1971.
It's true.
Vegas.
I forgot to tell this story about Vegas. So it's Sunday night. I've had it. I want to get the fuck out of there. I could have flown out that night. I'm just tired. Got wasted the night before, kind of going through my money at this point. So Colin and I go to play some blackjack, right? I had a little luck playing some blackjack the night before.
Was it beginner's luck?
No, I can play blackjack pretty well. But sometimes.
This is the table with the trumper.
So we sit down, and Colin's sitting to my left. I'm sitting here, and I got these guys to my right. And probably fucking 2 minutes in, Colin's arguing with these people, with this guy about Trump.
Oh, good.
Now, he has two friends with him who didn't really share that belief. And one guy ended up leaving. The other guy was trying to temper it. But this guy's like, you don't know about leadership, obviously. And I'm just like, fuck, man. Colin's like, I don't know about leadership. And they're like yelling at each other. And I'm like, this is the last fucking place I want to be. And
I know.
And I'm losing too.
Yeah.
And I just threw down $20 and I was like, I'll see if I can make some money.
You know what the problem arguing with that guy too is like if there's someone
because I was in the middle of it.
Well, there's that. But if there's someone that has a gun, it's like that guy.
Dude, I was right. And I was so. This is such a faint memory because I was like John. I was burnt and I was wasted, and I was just like. You can't be serious. He said something about it all started out. He said something about the liberals and their hatred of the god Trump. And I was just like, you can't think only liberals hate that guy, right? That's where this whole thing started. I was like, well, I'm a conservative, and that guy's a fucking buffoon.
But it was like, you sit down, you want to have some drinks, you want to have a couple laughs and stuff, and these guys are arguing over me. And I was just like, and I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, that couldn't have been pleasant.
I was like, I'm out of here, and I just went to bed.
So I haven't talked to either of you since you guys. I mean, it's been a while since we've done.
Dude, I got recognized multiple times,
and
these guys gave me no nonstop shit about it.
Oh yeah.
I was playing in a poker tournament at Binion's
on
Friday night.
I didn't know multiple.
Maximo Vila goes. I'm in the middle of a poker tournament, sitting there, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're Colin Daniels!" I was like, "No, you're fucking kidding me." That was crazy. And then I was at a bar one evening, it was Saturday evening, with some college kids from Utah, And I go, well, hey, you guys should follow me on Twitter. We were talking about NFL. And I said, follow me on Twitter, South Stands 303. And they're like, oh my God, you're Colin Daniels?
Oh, nice. Well, you are an influencer.
What the fuck? I am an influencer.
I
got a free book.
So he tells us this, right?
So they give me nonstop.
And everyone's like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding? and then so anytime like a waitress would come up, Reno, who's a fucking huge smartass, like,
and Snyder too,
and they would go, oh, do you know?
You probably know Colin
Daniels. And they're kind of like, no.
So then they really got me on Fremont Street. They set up a beautiful prank. I don't know how they got it just down so perfect, but we ran into some dudes walking up and down Fremont Street, and Snyder goes, you probably know him. This is Colin Daniels. And the guy goes, oh my God, do you play fantasy football? I'm in a league with you. But it was a total fucking joke.
That was not. Because here's the deal. We were going to set you up. And I said to Reno, we were sitting at a bar somewhere, and I said, Reno, I got a great idea. Let's go find a guy and have him, we'll say, well, buy you a drink, just come up and do it. We were going to have him go, oh my God, are you Colin Daniels? And then we were all going to fucking laugh and set it up and have him pretend he knew him. And we never did it. But then that guy, and then like we started laughing and we were walked off, and the guy said to me, he goes, no, really, he plays fantasy football? I said, yeah. And like I don't know if anybody, I didn't say anything to him. So, but we were going to set you up, but we never got around to it.
Well, I was like, how did you know? He was cracking up. So apparently you guys didn't set him up. He just pulled that prank on me himself. And he was busting up, and I go, how did you know about the fantasy football thing? And he goes, dude, look at you.
That's true. Okay, what I want to know is this, and I have not heard the story, but I did see the picture of you and a midget, which was the greatest
Mr.
picture.
That was Mini Mr. T.
Mini Mr. T. Tell me this story. That was my favorite picture of the whole.
He was just walking up and down Fremont Street selling the opportunity to take your selfie.
Oh, that was it?
I gave him $5.
More than that?
Yeah, nothing more than that.
Yeah. They camp out around on Fremont Street and they get the pictures.
Well, and I did bang him in the ass. So there's that.
I didn't know that happened.
You'd be surprised how large Mini Mr. T's rectum can be. In fact, I could have had a much bigger penis and still destroyed that ass.
It's a lot of fun, but it only you want to get the fuck out of there pretty quick.
I didn't, dude. I didn't want to leave, man.
I know you.
I stayed on Monday and hung out for a while. I mean, I'd never want to move there, but I enjoy my time.
It'd be trouble.
I enjoy my time.
I did want to say real quick, and this is because we haven't been at this for a while. I did want to recognize and didn't want to bring the party down, but our beloved friend James had passed away, and we have mentioned him many times over the years. You might know it as the Horn of Plenty or Preppy Summer.
Preppy Summer.
And he passed away in December, and we hadn't had a chance to talk about that and just say he'll be missed, and but we'll always have those memories of the Horn of Plenty and Preppy Summer. I mean, those stories.
He's been an integral part of the podcast.
He has, and I remember asking him.
The Denver Swim Club.
Yeah, Denver Swim Club. I said one time, I said, "Hey, you should come on. We can talk about it." And he was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And we never did it, and I regret it. I wish he would have come on and talked about it, because he might have had a different take on the Horn of Plenty. Although I remember clearly that it was a big flesh-colored dildo, and
I think he probably had many different takes on the Horn of Plenty.
But he was a good friend, and he'll be missed. And that was just somebody. If you had heard over the years those stories, that was that person, and so he'll be missed.
Yeah, I really I didn't know him. I mean, I've met him, but it was many years ago. So I'm just gonna say to you guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened, and that's tough. It's a really tough thing.
Well, what's weird is like, as a kid, like, going to funerals like old people and shit, and I know we're old people now basically, but it's weird when somebody that used to
your age,
you used to live with and get high with and do all these things with, that is laying there dead, and you're just kind of like, wow, that brings you down to earth a little bit,
Well, and the makeup people could have done a better job.
They could.
I wish I hadn't made that journey.
well, that's the thing. That's why you never have a fucking an open casket. And it was at the beginning. like the funeral I went to before that, the last one I had gone to, it was not well done either. And I was just like, nobody wants to see that. That you should get yourself cremated, put your fucking jar up there, and then have a big poster on the wall of you looking your best, smiling away, fucking, you know, giving a thumbs up or whatever.
Holding a fish.
Holding a big joint or whatever, you know, whatever people recognize you for. And people can look at that. They know that, you know, your ashes are there. But it's so weird because you see somebody dead and you're just like, and granted, I've seen plenty of like dead people. I've been to funerals, but to see somebody that I knew so well and is, you know, around my same age, that's very weird, because then you just think he's going to jump up at some point and go, gotcha. You know what I mean? That's what you think. You think, fooled you.
Well, I wouldn't put it past James.
No, but then you obviously reality hits and you're like, okay, he's not leaping up and saying I pranked you all. But that's the weird thing too. So just let it be known. I'm gonna have a picture of myself, you know, smiling, drinking a pint, smoking doobie, whatever, and that'll be up there. Maybe not the doobie.
I guess the question our listeners are want to know: were either of you willed the Horn of Plenty?
No.
His mother kept that.
I didn't want to. When I saw his mom, when we had kind of the get together beforehand, I didn't want to say, hey, James's mom. I really need to know, what did he do with the huge flesh-colored dildo that he kept in the shower? Because I would really like it. Do you know what he did with that huge dildo your son used to shove in his ass? Because I would love to keep it and put it on my shelf. What about
I'll make a commemorative plaque and mount it on a marble base.
Oh, I would, dude. If I had that thing, I'd fucking be like, this is the Horn of Plenty, you know, and put his name on it.
Put it above your fireplace on your hearth of your own.
Put it in the garden.
And if you know the Preppy Summer story, it was our buddy Dave. We were helping James move, and because I lived with James and we were moving out of that place. Dave was helping him move, and he was lifting his mattress up and stuck underneath.
Was this a York Street address?
No, this was over on the west side, and he lifted up his mattress, removed his mattress, and like stuck under the mattress was a VHS copy of Preppy Summer, some nice gay porn. So Dave had the task of having to clean out some of his stuff again, this time after he had passed. And Dave said, I have to report that I did not find Preppy Summer.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
He didn't find anything like that this time. So I thought maybe that would have been a good sense. It'd almost be like, you know, like a pharaoh leaving a secret treasure trove for people to find after he's gone. He'd be like, I want somebody to find this copy of Preppy Summer for the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we got to put that up on the wall over here. Yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd bring that up.
Well, and if he had known long enough in advance of his own demise, he could have bequeathed onto you the Preppy Summer.
Could have, but it'll live on. It'll live on in this podcast.
Bill McCartney would have hated him.
Oh yeah. Bill McCartney.
And just real quick
Bill McCartney wouldn't have been a fan.
Before we inevitably go to break, I want to briefly touch on Bill McCartney. Not the way his team touched his daughter, but I was thinking today about the Bill McCartney saga and how revered he is by people like Big Al on 104.3 The Fan, and all these players that played for him, and all these people in the Boulder area and around Denver just revere Coach Mac. But what I see when I look at his history is a guy who was troubled. He was an alcoholic. He had a suicidal wife, and then he discovered the Lord and suddenly became the founder of Promise Keepers and started telling every man in America how to live their lives. And it reminds me a little bit of Tony Dungy. And I guess my point is, these hypocritical people who cloak themselves in Christianity and start to try and tell everybody else how to run their lives after they've gone through all the same shit that everybody else goes through, in some cases even worse. It's just like, fuck off. Just fuck off.
I agree. And I think the reason why people revere him, because I think he did do good things for people like Al and people he brought in. He brought in a lot of like.
He also covered up all kinds of shit.
Absolutely,
all kinds of shit, which is the one prerequisite you need to be a college head coach, especially in Boulder. Is the ability to cover up shit.
Well, and that's the hypocritical nature of all of it, is that how pious it was. There was a whole lot of shit going on that, that was not probably very.
His daughter was running trains in the locker room with the football team, and now you want to stand on the mountaintop and tell me how to be a father?
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck you.
And I'm glad somebody could have problems in their life and turn it around. But then when they turn it around to the point where then they're shaming people and making people feel bad, and those fucking Promise Keeper assholes, those guys were fucking shitheads.
They're the worst thing since Focus on the Family.
They were the groundwork for kind of what we're seeing now these days, and it was the early part of that. And those guys sucked, and I have plenty of examples of how they sucked, but I don't need to go into it now. But yeah, I'd agree. But the thing is, there's so much there's so much nostalgia, and people don't see, they only see this one thing and they go, oh, he's such a great guy. And it's like, yeah, maybe.
I think they see victories and losses.
Yeah.
He was successful for sure.
And then, they preach a good game, and oh yeah, you got to live this one life.
If the Broncos are in the Super Bowl this year and they went 14-2, we'd be saying better stuff about Vance Joseph.
Well, I am dedicating my life to Vic Fangio. I have now sworn my life over to him. So I don't know if you guys knew that yet, but
it's a blood vow.
It is a blood vow, and I will do anything for him. I'll kill for him if he wants me to. I'm just waiting for the orders. Let's take a break, and we'll get into the second half. We'll get a little Captain Bronco here.
I'm playing a little a song for James.
That's right. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, you bet. I bookmarked this a while ago when I saw Matt Megacy, man, for listening, play this for James when he passed.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw these guys with James.
So that's why I picked this song.
Should we embed the Captain Bronco call as a read?
As a what?
Like we do with Scoop?
Oh, that's pumping.
Yeah, it really got loud early because I didn't know it kicked in so hard. Sorry, man. Kind of blew it out.
I was, what was one of the good things about, well, if you can get a positive out of someone dying, it was that when we had that thing where we all got together, and it was nice seeing a lot of people that I hadn't seen and just kind of telling stories.
Oh, definitely.
And speaking of Supergrass, that time the Supergrass played when their first album came out, and I was talking to Sarah about it, and we were kind of trading stories about it. And at the end of the night, the Italian fellow was really drunk and had his pants down and was pissing in the middle of the street. This is where right where Broadway hits Brighton. Right there.
You didn't have to see his tiny penis.
Yeah. Everyone saw it. Tons of people. We're all standing. Everyone's going, "Oh no!" And it was awesome. It was a good memory. And I had kind of forgotten about it until that point. So
I've still never seen the tiny penis. I've only heard legends.
Yeah, he had it out. It's good times.
Scott, should we bury the Captain Bronco call as layer it in as a read like we do with Scoop?
So. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just call him now.
And then we'll have him yell sports. And then we'll
there you go.
I like that.
I like it.
I like it too. I like all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So this thing's going, so
yeah.
We probably can't talk about it. But after it.
Oh.
You like to get the kind of the
I'll give you all the details.
Yeah. That really sucks.
I'm
sorry, guy. It's hard.
It was it's still kind of one of those things where it's kind of hard to believe,
Sure.
Kind of
finality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. sucks.
I really think that's the whole thing, is that, you know, as you know, obviously death is an inevitability, but like I said, people that you know, I mean, there's been various people that have from that whole scene who have died, but people I didn't, you know, I knew but wasn't really, you know, that tight with. But having somebody that you knew really well, you know, and spent a lot of time with, yeah, it's a little weird, you know, but yeah, you know, it was good to see people. That was kind of a cool thing, just to, there's people I haven't seen in 20 years. And there was a girl I hadn't seen. I knew her because she knew him. I knew her through him, and I was friendly with her, but I didn't know her very well. And she was there, and I talked to her for a while, and, you know, and it was really kind of cool just to catch up with somebody that, and that's the problem, is that my memory's so bad too, is that, you know, because I had to ask, well, I go, tell me your name again, because I had no idea, you know, and it's just like, there's so much, you know, there's so much partying going on that you just don't. A lot of these people, there was somebody there that was like hanging out, talking to me. I had no idea who it was. And like somebody else was like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, we had to kind of ask around, and we figured it out later, but had no idea. I don't know if he looked totally different, you know, but that was kind of weird.
Yeah, college can be like. I mean, was that in college?
No, that was after.
Well, that's same thing, though. You know.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, college and like probably the 4 or 5 years after for me, it's all I've learned. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, but no preppy summer. Thought Dave would find it, but you know, times have changed since we first found preppy summer, which was probably back in, I want to say like 98, 99. Okay, to, you know, go 10 years. Go 10 years past, right? Is that 10 years?
20.
Oh shit, 20. See, I fuck it up. 20 years later. So, you know, he might have been getting his porn a whole different way. You know what I mean? So VHS might not have been his thing. He was pretty old school, but yeah. He was really into conspiracy theories too. Like he told me like one time, he was like something about flat earth, and I was like, you don't believe the fucking earth is flat. And he was like, there's a lot of compelling videos on YouTube that, you know, could probably, and I was like, come fucking on, dude. I go, really? And he was like, well, I don't know. But him and I had been through all this stuff before about like lizard people, you know, all that shit. Like he was you've heard of lizard people, right? The lizard people thing?
Yeah.
So the lizard people thing's like kind of popular now, but like back in like the fucking, you know, early to mid 90s, he was really into it. And
so thinking it was real.
He turned me on to it. Yeah. He's like, oh, there's reptilian shapeshifters among us, you know? And I was like, all right. And I read the book that he had, you know, and I was like, I mean, you read it and go, okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. But, you know, it's kind of like whatever the guy's selling, you're kind of like, I can see how he can make a case for it. But
yeah.
Like the Queen of England.
You ready to do this, motherfucker? All right, Scott's gonna play some music, and then John will bring you in.
Already played the music.
Wait! Now, did you tell him he's got to do sports?
At the very end of this conversation, you're gonna yell the word sports
as loud as you possibly can. What's up, Captain Bronco? How are you, buddy?
What's up, Scott?
Better take the case off this.
So we'll probably just say. Like, okay, you know, thanks for calling in. It's good to have you. Blah blah blah. If there's any
back from the dead, man,
we'll say, hey, you know, we just want you to. If there's anything else you want to add, and then you go, yeah, I want to say sports.
Can you hear us all? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you all. Okay.
Did you hear me? Are you
gonna allow me to Jimmy Fallon this and plug the return of the Boozecast?
Yes, that's why you're here, my man.
Perfect.
Okay, what's going to happen here? I'm going to plug you in right now.
He's about to shove his copper penis into my phone.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That sounds about right.
I take this phallic piece here and jam it in. Boom.
Oh!
There it is.
Oh, that felt so good.
There it is. Okay, all right. We got you? Oh, no.
All right, Captain Bronco, say something.
Are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so we can get him in the headphones.
Yeah, but not. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can bring him up a little bit louder. Okay. All right, Captain, do it again. We got you.
Yeah, baby, that's great.
All right, we got you.
That's good. Yeah, so
we got you.
So we'll just say, hey, glad to have you, and then say, if there's anything else you want to add, and then you can say, hell yeah, and then
it's
yell sports.
But you won't hear sports.
No, you won't hear it. Then we'll just hang up on you.
We'll have to edit it later. We'll hang up on you. Yeah. We'll flip you off on the video feed, and that'll be how it ends.
Okay, so how are we bringing it in?
You handle it.
You're not doing a read?
No, this is the read. We're
you bring it in.
Placing the read.
You're the guy that brings stuff in.
You got to bring it in. But you got music to bring it in?
No, we got this
or just
music
going straight in.
Well, yeah, we have the music going.
Pumping on the stereo.
That one, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Then, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, wait. Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce a special guest to the South Stands Denver fan cast, none other than the one and only Captain Bronco.
Oh,
Captain Bronco, welcome back. Well, we're hanging low and lazy, baby, and absolutely, we're glad to have you, and everyone's very excited because lo and behold, this afternoon. It showed up in my Twitter feed that Captain Bronco followed me. And I thought, wait a minute, this can't be the Captain Bronco, is it? Now, are we talking to the Captain Bronco?
Who hijacked this Twitter handle and is parading as Captain Bronco.
I know, it's crazy because actually, I deactivated here. And after 30 days, it actually deleted the account.
Yeah.
I don't sign back in. So I thought I lost it forever. And, after Fancy Pants got fired, I felt the flame from under come back, and I got excited, and I went back into Twitter today to see if I could get it back. Nobody hijacked it.
How come we didn't get it?
I know.
Why didn't we think of that?
Why didn't I get it and make it to be like a porn account?
That's a gay porn account.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back. So once Vance was gone, you felt the need to come back and.
Oh, wait! I thought the federal government told you couldn't be Captain Bronco.
There's a little bit of both.
So did you just decide to tell the federal government to go fuck itself, or what?
A lot of things happen, and when time passes, things go all different directions.
So they don't know, is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Okay. Do not alert the federal government to the fact that Captain Bronco.
That's right. Yeah, the government was shut down, so that's probably you flew under the radar. So
I'll bet you've got a lot of furlough, if you know what I'm saying.
So Vance got fired, and you felt that now you could be a fan again. Is that accurate?
Let's not sugarcoat it. These were dark couple of years.
Oh, dark. Wait, dark. Hold on, dude. Let's not be racist.
Come on, man. What the hell?
Listen, I know that's what that's code for. So let's clean it up a little bit, okay? Wow. I haven't heard that. Before.
What a unique and interesting thought.
Scaramanga from The Man with the Golden Gun. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yep.
Oh, nice. Is the whole team coming back with you?
I got to talk to the whole team. I haven't really. This is the first announcement. I mean, I kind of teased it a little bit, but I got to talk to James, Sarah, and hopefully you guys will come back on.
I heard Sarah. She said, "You know what? I'm striking out on my own. This guy left me high and dry. I'm doing my own
She's like
thing."
the Aaron Andrews of podcasting now. I mean, everybody wants a piece of Sarah.
Taco Bell. Hey, by the way, I went to Vegas and I didn't get any free Taco Bell that I was promised. And
By the way, if you remember, I was in London, England.
yes, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I got ditched too, and I was in the same city as the guy.
Wow, I got ditched. And Scott got ditched.
Why you got to be catfishing Stafford in London, man?
What the hell, dude? Yeah. Did I tell you guys I saw Hamilton?
Oh, we'll talk about that later. Let's not talk about it now. I don't want to get into that right now. Yeah, so the Booze Cast is back soon, and you can do that. Good. That's excellent. So you're thinking maybe around training camp, you guys will get back on that?
Yeah, I think we'll probably do draft time. And I think the one thing that makes a difference this year, not bringing it out, is really doing the team. So we'll do the show, study
You know what I think you guys should try, Captain Bronco? Not sucking.
that frustrating.
Yeah, I'm with you. How about them? Nuggets and Rockies? Because you've become quite the fan of all Denver sports teams. Yeah, it should be good.
Captain, I had to bow out. Our live feed stopped for some strange reason. I had to do it. So it's nice having you. We're gonna cut you loose, and we're glad you're back. Everyone was very excited. Glad we proved that it was really you today. And
I'm glad they're doing that podcast again, so people can see how much better ours is.
It's
than theirs.
That is a good point, Colin. It's nice to have something to compare.
It's like taking Renault to the bar. I'm the skinny guy.
Well, and it's like the Colorado sports guys haven't podcasted too much either, so there's nothing to compare it against. So if you're doing it, then everyone thinks, look at how sucky these guys are. They're like, no,
they're way better.
Everyone else sucks.
No, they're way better.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you,
awesome.
sir.
Hey, everybody check out the Boozecast when you get closer to the season. Now, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah! Woo! All right, thank you, Captain. You're the man. Good times. Okay, bye.
All right, I'll take that jack off my phone.
Will you? Jack over your phone, then?
I'll take that jack off my phone.
Stop that there. Yeah, I don't know if the battery must have died.
The battery
my
died.
Fucking kid. I said, hey, I sent him a text and I said, because he uses that, and I said,
to watch Pornhub.
And I said,
nonstop.
Charge the laptop because I'm going to need it tonight. And then he was like, I didn't do it. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, well, it's pretty charged. Here, I said, give me the charger. I didn't check it, and fuck.
It died.
Yep.
It died. That's all right.
No big deal.
I'm going to get some levels with some sports really quick. That's fun. Well, you're right. I'm glad the captain's coming back to. It's nice, right? Speaking of the Colorado sports guys, they had quite the episode last week.
Tim Connolly.
And it was really good.
Oh, I haven't listened.
It's really great. It was.
Tim Connolly's an interesting dude.
Yeah, and Nate Timmons was back. He hadn't been on in a long time. It's just been kind of Martin, steering that ship. It was really good. So good job, dudes, for watching. It was quite fantastic. Connolly is awesome. I feel like it's in our realm to get him on here. We should do it. We have the ability. Yeah, we have the connections to make it happen. We should Connolly.
I think people probably are pretty leery of coming on here. Yeah, unless.
Oh, you think Connolly would be?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I
just don't think it would be interesting.
Oh, I think it's.
It'd be interesting. It just wouldn't be fun or funny.
Maybe.
Because we couldn't do our thing with him. I mean, we were just talking about a dude plunging a fucking giant dildo into his anus in the shower. I don't think Tim Connolly would be on board for that.
Well, neither would Hoffman.
I mean, we could do a show to host.
We have those guys on and they're great.
Sure. But I'd rather have guests that we can have some fun with.
I'm just saying. I think
I'd rather have. Honestly, I would rather have LA Baby than Tim Connolly on this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Are you ready for sports?
I'm always ready for sports.
Are you going to just kick it into sports because Captain Ronk already yelled sports?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. but work it in so if you can take the feeds.
I'm gonna put it right when he yells sports. I'm gonna drop it right in there and it'll be good.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm ready. You just tell me when you're ready. I'll hit record.
I'm ready for sports.
And.
Yes!
Oh my God! It's time for sports!
I can't get enough sports!
Yeah!
People, I love their
Sports!
Woo! Give me sports! Give me sports!
Oh God! Clean up on aisle 4. Clean up on aisle 4.
Wow!
Coming up on Isle Sports.
Oh man, I haven't sportsed in a long time. Feels so good. Ah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Sports.
It's good to get back into the sports. And
Nuggets did not win by 9, by the way. That was the
Did
spread.
they win? I wasn't been
What'd they win?
Yeah, they won by 6.
They won.
Really?
Yeah,
with
they
all those
won by
guys
6.
out? With all those guys out?
Yeah, they won by 6.
Who's out? Murray's out.
No, on
On the
other
Pelicans,
team, yeah.
they like 4 of their 5 starters were out tonight.
Was Davis playing?
He was out.
No,
Really?
out.
He was
They're
out.
probably not even touching him until
Julius Randle out.
Wow. But they
Um,
did win. It's a W. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
that's a W.
Yeah, sure. But
It's however not a W for my bankroll
Well,
on Bovada.
but
where
because I
spent
saw-
$20 on that fucking spread.
I saw earlier people were like, good win Nuggets, and I was like, I thought they were supposed to like hammer those guys with all those good dudes being out, but I was playing Colin a little bit in a little NBA DFS, little free.
Little freebies.
I-
You beat me
I
once.
beat you once, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to figure out because there's so many people out all the damn time.
But that creates your big opportunities because you get a $3,400 guy that's going to score 22 fantasy points.
Who's in because another guy's out.
Yeah.
Now, see, good.
That's the key to DFS
And
basketball.
that's tough because I was just like, man, I don't even know if this guy's playing. And it's like, fuck. So because like in hockey, like in the top 6, you go, okay, I know this guy's playing unless I've heard otherwise. Like unless they go, oh, this guy's hurt.
NBA will announce a guy sitting fucking 30 minutes before the game.
I was driving home because I was playing some NHL tonight, and I was driving home, and I just at a stoplight, and I just happened to see that a guy that I had put in from the Penguins was out tonight. So I was like, oh shit, and I'm like trying to the next stoplight, I'm trying to get him out and put somebody else in. It was fucking awful.
Can we talk a little bit Nuggets right now?
Yeah,
How good is this Nuggets team?
That's an interesting question.
Is it Western Conference Final good?
It might be.
Yeah,
I
think it could be.
I mean, obviously, the Warriors are going to win the Western Conference. That's a done.
They're
deal.
going to win. Yeah,
That's a done deal. I think that the interesting thing with the Nuggets right now is this whole Anthony Davis thing, and I believe personally it's a very real possibility that it could happen. And
I don't think so whatsoever.
I know you don't. And I'm curious to know why because
he won't sign an extension. I don't think he'll sign an extension. He wants to go to LA, and he won't. If he's coming here for 1 year in a rental, are you willing to give up?
That's
too much.
No,
too much.
Michael Porter Jr.
No, the only way Conley will do it is if he feels like Anthony Davis would be here for 4 or 5 years.
He needs to
There's
sign an
no
extension.
there's no way.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't think he does it because he wants to play with LeBron. He wants to be in LA.
But let's assume for a moment that it were a very real possibility. Let's just assume that.
Like if you were assuming
Who-
that he made the decisions for basketball.
Would you give up Jamal Murray?
Yes.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would. Basically, I feel like he's a top 5 to 8 player in the NBA, and you're insane.
He's the top 3.
Isn't he kind of rickety though? Isn't he?
Oh, he's very brittle. He's very brittle. He's broken all the time.
Yes, I don't know about that. And again, the whole thing of him not signing if he doesn't want to be there, which to me is insane. And I look at LeBron James playing with the fucking clowns that he's playing with,
And not playing.
Not playing.
Been hurt
He's
for
been
a
hurt.
quarter of the season.
and I just go, man, they would have been cruising with LeBron James right now. And
oh God, they'd be better than the Warriors.
Oh, absolutely, they'd be better than the Warriors. And I just think like these guys, they don't, and I can't begrudge them. I don't begrudge them their decision because they go, I want to play in Los Angeles. I get it. That's where they want to go. But it seems like they kind of go, well, I could go to Los Angeles and we're going to lose for the next 3-4 years, or I could go here and probably win right now.
But they won't lose going to Los Angeles, and that's the issue. They got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis. Then all of a sudden you start doing all these, minimum salaries for veterans, and all of a sudden that's something.
And this is something I heard them talking about this morning on Altitude. Brett Kane and Mark Mosier and Vic Lombardi. It's not the Warriors. There will be another Warriors, and it might be the Lakers. And you have to strike within this window before another of these super teams forms, and suddenly they're the odds-on favorite, hands-on favorite to win the Western Conference. It's not going to end with the Warriors when KD leaves and and Curry gets old and somebody tears a hamstring, it's going to continue on. Somebody else, probably the Lakers, probably a big market team, will be the next hurdle that nobody can get over.
The Warriors, 4 out of 5 starters are free agents at the end of the year. Like that is the band.
So they get torn down.
Right.
Yeah, they get torn down. But then again, your homegrown Nuggets are trying to compete with whoever it is.
The next Warriors.
The next Warriors.
Right.
Yeah, but look at LeBron has got a lot of fucking miles on those tires, right?
Sure.
And now he's hurt, right? And he's not hurt too often. He doesn't miss too many games. But I think the miles are going to catch up to him. He's still fucking great. He'll still, when he's healthy and he gets back to it, he'll still be the best there is. But that's going to come into play. And especially if he's got a bunch of chumps around. He's probably got more chumps around him than he did when he played for Cleveland, right? He's got more.
It's about the same.
It's about the same, but they seem a little chumpier, if you know what I mean. They don't seem quite as good. And that's a big hill to climb, especially now that he's another year older. So I just think that, that's not gonna pan out for them. And they can get Anthony Davis, they can do whatever. It's just.
But that's why a team like the Nuggets goes after an Anthony Davis,
I think they should
is so that they become that
Right.
team. I mean, in the NBA, you are either that or you're nothing. You're either the team where all the free agents are going because they're going to win a title there, or you're not.
Okay, let me pose this then. If Anthony Davis is willing to sign an extension coming to Denver, you're giving up Murray, you're giving
Probably
up
Harris.
Millsap. Probably not.
No, Millsap's gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
right?
Millsap's
You're
gone.
giving up.
Millsap's gone either way.
Who else? I mean, I'm willing to give up almost. I mean, I would love that to happen.
Not Michael Porter Jr.
He would go.
Not
for sure.
no.
You
no,
would. You
no,
would go.
I wouldn't do it.
But
I wouldn't do it.
He would be part of that package.
I wouldn't do it. Michael Porter Jr. has Hall of Fame potential.
Wow. Whoa, okay.
Maybe.
Guy hasn't played in a fucking minute. He's
No,
Hall of
I
Fame.
know.
Hall of Fame.
I believe he's got Hall of Fame potential. I did meet Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
He's a beautiful man.
we saw him.
Steely eyes.
Yeah,
He's
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's a stunning man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He
I
made Colin look small.
I had the same exact back surgery that he had, and I'll tell you that.
Back,
That was I hurt every day.
Yeah, well, you're not 22.
I'm not 22. I'm just saying to be a pro athlete at that level, don't know. There's some questions there. I mean, he could re-injure himself?
Okay, I'll put it this way: if he is healthy, he has the potential to be a dominant.
But he would
dominant
absolutely
forward.
be included in that trade if they did it. Like, there's no question about it. He's gone.
Yeah, but nobody who's going to
Millsap's
trade
gone.
for him when he's
Murray's
unknown as far as his health.
If it means getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. or Malik Beasley, either one, I'm not in.
I am so in on Beasley.
Beasley's
I
awesome.
love Beasley.
He's awesome.
And that's,
He is such a natural
I don't
shooter.
wanna lose
He's got
any of those guys.
he's got a Steph Curry quality about him.
what's cool about the Nuggets is they've been taking chances on these dudes, and they're panning out. Like Vanderbilt looks like he's going to be good. Beasley, all these guys are hurt coming into it. They're taking chances on them, and it's all working out.
I don't want to
That's
lose
pretty cool.
any of these guys, and I think they should keep developing them. And obviously, if somebody comes available that they can get, they should do it. But trading everybody and mortgaging the future just for that, I don't think that's the way to go.
Dude, Anthony Davis and Jokic. I mean, it would not only would they have that core, then even all the people they left, they could start bringing in these veterans.
Before the Warriors got Kevin Durant,
Denver could be the Warriors. I mean, that's
I know,
Yeah.
but before the Warriors got Kevin Durant, they had kind of built that team. There was only a few,
Just like the Nuggets have.
they had only a few people. Like Andre Iguodala was a free agent. There's probably other ones too. I just don't follow them close enough. But they built that team. They brought those guys in. They
Boogie
developed
Cousins, free agent.
Yeah, they built that team. They
through the
developed
draft.
them.
Yeah. They had the best record in the history of the NBA. They beat the Bulls' record the year before Durant came in.
And so that was a fairly homegrown team as far as I know. And I think the Nuggets can do the same thing. And I don't think they need to. Then when you've got that team, then you say, free agent, hey, like a Kevin Durant, go, hey, do you want to come play here?
Durant is a free agent.
He could come play there, and he's
Draymond
probably
Green's a free agent.
he's got
Klay
plenty of
Thompson's a
years
free
left.
agent. They're all free agents at the end of the year. You're right. Maybe that's the path. We don't give up
I
anything.
just want all these good teams to be bad again, so I can laugh at them because when they're good, the people that follow them or have bandwagon onto them are just so obnoxious, and I want them to be bad again.
How big would an NBA title be in Denver in relation to a Super Bowl championship or a Stanley Cup?
The Nuggets have never won at all, period. It would be huge. It
wouldn't be as big as the Broncos.
No, Broncos have more fans for sure, but it would be massive.
It would be pretty crazy. I think
I would cry. I would cry.
Yeah.
We've talked openly.
I would cry.
That we will never see an NBA Nuggets championship.
He said that, but I don't think I've said that. It could happen.
Well,
this is really shaping up. It's shaping up to it could happen. But I told my family, I said, a couple of years ago, I said, if the Avalanche win the Stanley Cup, I'll probably cry because they've been up and down so much last couple of years. But if they win one, I will probably weep. I warned them. I said, you're going to see me weep. So
you don't weep regularly.
I don't weep regularly. They don't see me weeping. I don't think my children have ever seen me weeping. So,
dude, Sunday was weird, man. No, I didn't watch the Pro Bowl, so there was no football, and there were so many hours in the day. It was mind-boggling, and that's what we're in for after next weekend.
Hey, but you know what?
I've watched no NFL this year.
I've watched shit piles.
But I shouldn't say that. I during the fantasy football playoffs. And John, I mean, no slight at all. I miraculously ended up beating you because of who scored like 4 touchdowns in like 10 minutes on Dallas.
Fucking Amari Cooper.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Amari Cooper. God damn it. Yeah.
It was like I had no business winning this at all. But when that happened, I got into it.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
For the first time.
Well, I'm winning. This is awesome.
Yeah. But for the first time all year, I get into it.
Well,
and I have pretty much watched everything the last month through the playoffs.
I was going to say you've got nothing going on. That's not true because fantasy baseball is going to be starting up soon. So we got to get.
Well, I actually won a fantasy football championship in Denver City Football Club.
Yeah,
and I had a losing record. I was 6-7, and I won that. I started to pay attention. I made some moves, and lo and behold, I won the stupid thing.
Wow, there you go, kids. That's the formula for success. Don't pay attention until it matters. Then
never try.
Never try.
And I had the 8th seed in our fantasy baseball league, and I won that one too.
And you won that too. Well, I'm changing a few things.
You're not going to let me win this year?
No, I'm going to change a few things because there's a couple things we need to adjust to make sure that
Scott doesn't win.
I don't rack it up at the end.
Yeah, you don't do what you did at the end.
But since only you and I know of this, if you keep it, then we'll be playing in the championship.
Yeah, but I don't have the time to dedicate to all those ad drops. because Ryan Bolin did that to me and Colin because at the end of one fantasy hockey season, we were ad dropping like crazy, and he put a limit. He put a limit on the ad drops, which it helps because you have to strategically plan them out. Because if you're like, I only have so many per week. I have to, and because near the end of a fantasy hockey thing, you're like, oh, this guy isn't playing for the rest of the week, so I'm gonna drop him and do this and that. So it's
like all of your Avalanche with this 2-week break. It's so fucked up.
Oh man,
they all start breaking in a bye week.
Oh, right now it's all fucked up. It's so bullshit. I can't stand it.
In my defense of fantasy baseball, my team was horrible.
It was terrible.
So I really could drop my entire team. And pick up a whole.
It was really impressive what you've done. I don't mean to discount it. It was really impressive actually, but
it really was like there was not a formula to win to drop your entire team.
No, it was not. But let's take a break. We'll get into the fourth quarter. We're about an hour. We're gonna need to wrap it up, but we can dive back in for a few and bring it home for you.
Hey, this is all my Chicago friends out there. Stay strong.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Bears, but I'm
talking like it was like -14.
Oh yeah, it's really cold. Oh, we need some of that global warming right now. We sure do. Let's take a quick break. Be right back.
All right, I gotta get my tweet of the weekend, Scott. To the floor.
when I saw Tweety in Chicago.
What's going on with this goddamn computer?
I don't know. So I saw Tweety do a book tour. You know.
Yeah. I
Music
bought the
Box.
book for my wife.
I haven't read. I have the book. I haven't read it yet. So he did this whole thing. Did this book tour. It was really awesome. It was at the Music Box in Chicago. It was awesome. At the very and wasn't expecting any sort of music whatsoever. At all. Right. It's just kind of a Q&A kind of a thing. It was cool. And they bring him out a guitar at the end, and he ends up doing like 3 or 4 songs. But
That's awesome.
That was one of the songs that he did. And,
Is that a solo thing?
Yeah, it's his brand new solo album.
Oh, really?
It was a couple months ago.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty
listen to that.
I really enjoy it.
He was on NPR talking about his book, and they were asking him a ton of stuff, and I learned a whole lot I didn't know about him, and just that whole thing. It was cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy. All right, I'm gonna take it back. So entertain. Do a song and
Just
dance.
me and you, one viewer.
Show everyone your hair. Exciting.
my luxurious hair. I don't know why. For me, the screen is like flashing dark and light, and I have no idea why. I don't know if it's because it's charging. We lost the feed earlier because the battery died because one of my kids who uses this laptop did not charge it as I had requested. So that's why all of a sudden we realized when we were on the call with Captain Bronco that the feed had died, and so we're glad to have one person back. Hopefully it I don't know how it's going to pick up later on YouTube, but it was it was a little bit of a bummer. But we're back now, and as you can see, we're taking a break, getting to the fourth quarter. Had some good times tonight. That's all I got, really. I don't really have anything else to say. If you've been watching so far, you know what's going on. Here comes Colin. Colin's back. Colin's back in it.
Got 1 quarter left.
1 quarter left.
1 quarter left.
That's what Paul McCartney said.
Lots of shit not crossed off on my shit yet. That's all right. I'd rather have too much shit to talk about than not enough shit to talk about. So
they used to say that if there was an ounce of weed left in the house, Linda McCartney would get real fucking freaked out because you had to have at least, if it got down to an ounce, she'd start getting weirded out because she needed a lot of weed around. They smoked a lot.
I've not heard that.
Her and Paul, and she fucking needed weed. And if they got and I'm thinking an ounce. Like an ounce of weed.
And that's a lot of weed.
Is a lot of weed.
That's like a year's worth of weed.
Like I remember people buying weed, and of course it was illegal then. And I remember we had an ounce of weed. We had an ounce, and we're sitting on my friend's.
I had a pound once, dude.
You had a pound?
I had a pound once.
And then
16 ounces.
And everybody got real weirded out because they were
like,
we can't have this much weed here. And I was thinking and it wasn't my friend's place, and he was real freaked out. I didn't want it all there. So we had to divvy it up and get out of there. And I was thinking fuck, man.
Yeah, we used to treat that shit like Coke.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. And, they say hardcore potheads smoke less pot now that it's legal. I totally believe that. I totally believe that. Because you're not smoking Mexican ditchweed anymore.
True. Because we were smoking a lot of crappy weed.
You take 2 hits off a really good joint from a dispensary, you're fucking done for. Done for. Like puking.
The joint that we smoked.
I know, right?
That's his joint. Okay.
And the more we smoked it, the more the resin stuck in that fucker.
He had this joint. And he was over in his Blade Runner. He was always in Blade Runner area. Snyder was like, this is like Blade Runner. You remember Blade Runner? It's like it was just rainy and it was like concrete. And so we'd go over there to smoke weed. And man, we just got high.
3 of us got stoned off our balls 3 times from the same joint. That last time we did it on Sunday, I could barely stay awake.
Yeah, I got really hot then.
Reno had to elbow me and wake me up. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, so baked, man.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah.
The further down that fucker went, the stonier it got.
So yeah, so back to your point. So when I'm living with James and we're fucking,
Bong hit after bong hit after bong hit.
it's like shitty weed.
Yeah, it was like a tenth of the THC.
Yeah. It was not as much, because then we'd go down to my buddy Peter's place. He lived down the way in a nice like fresh apartment building, and he would get good weed, and then we'd smoke that, and you wouldn't need much of that.
No. You get the half, 2 hits, you're done. All right, I'm going to do a read for BSN, and then you're going to bring us in with some tunage, and we're going to rock this fourth quarter.
I'm going to rock some shit that I picked up in Portugal.
Portugal. Some Portugal.
Portugal garage rock.
All right.
Yeah, that's
we're ready to rock. I should have pissed. Damn it.
Yeah, go piss now.
No, let's just do this.
Yeah, let's keep this.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it short, and we'll rock it out.
Yeah, we'll keep it short. We're gonna do like probably 12, 15 minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
You ready?
Yep.
Rock to the roll.
Hey guys, check out bsndenver.com. They got a brand new website they're launching this week. They've got Ryan Koenigsberg down at the Super Bowl. I mean, they're spending some money sending people places. Man, I'm telling you, Rocky season coming up, you're going to have some of the best coverage you could possibly ask for right there at BSN Denver. They're friends of the Fancast. They have been since the beginning, and it's a really inexpensive subscription. And they've got a lot of cool gear for sale there at the locker room, the BSN locker room. And I really hope you check it out. When you do, I hope you tell those guys to, let them know the South Stands, sent you.
Woo! My favorite new Portuguese band.
Ow! I was gonna say real quick before I forget. I was talking about Hulu earlier. I don't know if that was on the pod or on this. But I started watching The Handmaid's Tale.
My wife wants to see that.
It's really good.
Is it like super fucked up?
Yes, it's super fucked up. And this is why it'll freak you out, is because you're watching it, and based on what's going on today, like now, you go, oh, I can see that happening. Oh, yeah, I can see that happening too. You can see like kind of how current events are going on, like how it's almost, and I mean, that show probably, I don't know when it first came out. Did it start? Maybe it had to have been filmed before Trump took over, but like there's shit in there. You're like, wow, that's really eerie.
Watch Homeland. If you haven't seen well, I'm telling you, like the last season of
Homeland. You're talking like some grab them by the pussy kind of shit.
I'm talking about a government seizing power and taking over and subjugating people, and how easy it would be is what I'm talking about. Let's get heavy, baby. Let's get heavy. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, but it's an interesting thing, and I'm into the second
Fire
season.
Festival. You guys watched?
That was really interesting.
I watched both of them. I watched the Netflix and the Hulu.
I saw the Netflix. I started the Hulu. I don't like it as much. But what
well, that's why we got a free trial of Hulu, because we watched the Netflix one. We're like, we got to watch the next one. We got to watch this one. So we got that, and that's why we started watching the other stuff. But I like the Netflix one better. I thought the Hulu one seemed to be a little more rushed, and it seemed to be kind of a little more complimentary to the guy that kind of scammed everyone.
Yeah, well, they're interviewing him, and he gets seems like a better spotlight.
He does. There's parts where he looks really bad, but I think that's just because he looks really bad.
What I found interesting about the whole story was that, I mean, yes, he did defraud people and he fabricated documents and the like, but he believed that event was going to take place until the last possible second.
But
that blows me away.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I've known these types of people, and this is kind of where we're at today in our society. Is there's a lot of people who, deep down, they know this is the wrong thing, and they know this is not going to work. Yet they've been convinced that they are these brilliant fucking people, and it's too big to fail, and they can just go ahead and do it, and they do it anyway.
The festival was his wall.
It was basically what you're saying. It was basically his wall, and he's going to die on it. And
what cracked me up too was all the people that showed up and saw those fucking storm tents and the fucking inflatable mattresses. They're all soaking wet.
When all that was going down, that's what we all like laughed about. You know, like ha ha. You know, rich people.
Here's the thing, though, is that all those people, you're laughing at them, and there's like, and they're like, oh, I'm so upset. And it's like all those people, what they got out of it is they got a story to tell. Now they can go, yeah, I went to the Fire Festival and blah, 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 blah. And they can now go, oh, I was there. And it's almost like they went to Vietnam. And they were like, oh, I feel like I lived it. And that's their Vietnam. And they're like, oh, I lived it. And they're like, yeah, definitely I spent $25,000 to go down there and get screwed over, but I survived. And that's what they get out of it. They pretend to be victims. And granted, they were ripped off, but they definitely get something out of it. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I'm thinking of a shirt I saw recently. It said something. It was a spoof shirt, right? It said like Fire Festival. I will not pay for the water or something like that.
Yeah.
It was something to the effect of, no, I will not help you bring in the water.
I think that, those things are so hard to plan, and they were starting like 6 months out, which is just a fucking disaster. Or they're like 3 months out or whatever it was, and they didn't have a caterer. And I think that anybody who paid money to that is a fool, and they should have known that it was going to be a fucking disaster. But it's emblematic of this of kind of these people who are like, they will just throw money at something until it just fucking goes into a ditch, and that's how a lot of people are.
Well, and it brought to fore the term influencer, which we've discussed tonight, and
Colin is an influencer.
I am an influencer. I am a very influential influencer. But
he was recognized no less than 3 times in Las Vegas.
I got a free book.
The
publisher sent me a free book. It's baseball card vandals, and it's really, really fucking hilarious. This guy took a bunch of baseball cards and just wrote on them with ballpoint pen and Sharpie, and cross stuff out.
Right there.
Yeah, it's really good. So you should check that out. But that was sent to me because I am an influencer. But that's not exactly like $25,000 or anything. It's a book. Probably cost them a couple of dollars.
$250,000, I think, is what they were.
They were
an Instagram post.
They paid what's her name? One of the Kardashians.
Chris Harris Jr. was one of them.
Was he really?
Yeah, Chris Harris Jr. was a paid influencer.
And I'd take that fucking money. And then people were blaming the models who went for the initial shoot. I'm like, they said, hey, come down and party. We'll pay you $10,000. Come down and party. Take some pictures. Those girls fucking be like, okay, sounds great. It's like, you can't blame them. They didn't know what it was. And if someone paid, what's her name? Her name's not Kardashian. She's the younger sister though. Kendall Jenner, or one of those Jenner girls, and they paid her $250,000 just to post about it. I'm like, oh my god, that is fucking unbelievable. It's not. It's actually believable,
and it's brilliant as a child.
It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's totally brilliant.
Yeah, it's insane. But anyone that would go to, that was a really bad lineup.
It's terrible.
It's horrible music.
The music's terrible. Ja Rule is fucking awful. Like, who would fucking go?
There was nothing on that was even.
I mean, I get going. It's on. They said, it's on an island. It wasn't on an island. It was at first, but then it was not. But I mean, like, it sounds like a cool place to go, but still, like the bands would have turned me off right there. I'd have been like, I'm like, sounds great, but I can't sit through the bands.
Speaking of music and bands and festivals, have you guys heard about the whole Maroon 5 thing with the Super Bowl, where they won't all these black artists? When they first signed Maroon 5 on board to do the Super Bowl halftime show, they were like, we need black artists to go along with this, and everybody has told them no over the Kaepernick issue.
Or they said, we're gonna say something about Kaepernick while we're on TV, and they were, and I was like, whoa, no.
And they had Mary J. Blige and Common and Cardi B and all these other people.
Cardi B will fuck
themselves up.
Oh, yeah.
So they all said, fuck off NFL. And so you're going to get the widest Super Bowl halftime show in years because the African American community collectively told them to fuck off.
Snyder, you missed a ton. So that's what you missed. So I can't really recap it for you. There was lots of Horn of Plenty talk, I guess. So Snyder just tuned in, he said. So
we'll have to listen.
Yeah, he'll just have to listen to all of it. It's good stuff. What else we got? We can wrap
Well,
up.
I want to do a quick tweet of the week, and hopefully Scott has some intro music. And I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter than I intended to, but I wanted to read some Mike Klis tweets as a wine-drunk gay man.
You got to go thick with the Chicago accent, by the way.
I can't do it.
Okay.
Now, Mike didn't grow up in Chicago. He grew up in Oswego, Illinois, where I lived for many years. Not much Chicago accent out there.
He's got it.
He's got a little bit.
He totally has it.
Update with statement from Amiable Bill Bolin. I completely agree with the commissioner. There is no place for my actions with the trustees this weekend. This is about Pat's contribution to the NFL. It's time for his family to celebrate his accomplishments. More Bill McCartney on TC McCartney becoming the Broncos.
Wait, these are Mike Klis saying a quote. Why can't you do Mike Klis actually commenting on these quotes?
Well, these are Mike Klis tweets.
Yeah, but he's quoting someone.
So in that particular tweet he was.
So you just did Bill Bolin as a wine-drunk gay man.
Well, he probably is. Okay, this one is all Mike Klis. For context, I talked to Vance Joseph. He was at a downtown Denver establishment last night to watch a boxing match when Johnny B happened by. They said hello. It was a brief exchange. Then Joseph went back to the fight, and Johnny moved on.
Yeah, right.
Such bullshit. Such bullshit, this fucking guy. Coach, congratulations. Next time, why don't you leak to me and then make sure we get your spelling and grammar correct. An all-time Klis classic.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
We finally pay attention to the Nuggets, and they're getting blown out at the half by the Warriors. Can we get back to the Scangrello watch? Rob Grasso, who spent the past season as Vance Joseph's assistant, is heading to Arizona, where we'll get an early-level coaching position. Nice step up. Vance has some sway in the desert. Broncos OT coach Chris Strasser is drawing interest from the Cleveland Browns per source. Cerebral coach who played a big part in Garrett Bowles' improvement this year.
Garrett Bowles' improvement.
I know,
Everyone
right?
laughed at that.
With Vance Joseph hired as Arizona DC and OL coach Sean Kugler and DB coaches Joe Woods and Marcus Robinson also drawing interest in the desert, Cards could have decided Broncos Southwest flavor. This is terrible. God, Klis is so awful. He is such a fucking sycophant and such a fucking, oh my God, blowhard asshole. And he's also absolutely vicious toward Nikki Jababala. And it's just so distasteful and so disrespectful to a accomplished female sports journalist.
He lives a couple doors down from my daughter's tutor. So if you guys want to come by and egg his house,
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's slash his fucking tires.
I think I've stated this. I do
think he makes a good wine drunk gay guy.
I think he did the wrestler's heel turn. He basically became a heel. He decided he was going to embrace this negative role, and I think he's doing a great job of it because everything he says gets tons of people fucking talking shit to him. The thing about Garrett Bowles, people were like, Garrett Bowles, what are you talking about, dude? Garrett Bowles sucks, and he didn't improve for shit, blah, blah, blah. And
he only got called for holding on every fifth fucking snap.
Every fifth snap. But I think he knows that. He knows Garrett Bowles sucks, but he has to toe this Broncos line. There's definitely that, but I think he's embraced this heel role, and he knows that people fucking hate his guts.
Soysher left a vacuum
Oh, exactly.
That's pretty much it.
And so we need that. And he knows, I think somebody, because he was not like that before.
I'm pretty sure he's fucking Joe Ellis. I think Joe Ellis is putting it right up his ass, ramming him in the ass, destroying that ass.
Wow.
And he wants it to continue. So
he's certainly doing something.
Do you have sources on that?
He's certainly doing something for his Broncos coverage. But my point is that he
Adam Schefter told me.
I think once he left like writing and he went to the TV side, I think he embraced this role of being a villain, and he loves it. And he realizes that because if somebody told him, "Hey, just whip people up and they'll pay attention to you, they'll always be on every word you say," because every time
not just whip people up, but make sure that Joe Ellis's cock is halfway down your throat at all times.
But again, it's how much people pay attention to him. If people freak out and pay attention to him, he's going to keep doing it. If everyone ignored him and he didn't get any response at all, then he'd go away because they'd just be like, okay, this guy's old. We're paying him too much. Later days. That's the whole thing. Don't pay attention to him.
Speaking of old guys, Mark Reynolds is back.
I saw that.
You guys excited about Mark Reynolds?
Well, he should have probably never left. He probably still could have put in some good time.
You're right. He should not have never left. But at least
he's coming in on a minor league contract, but with a major league spring training opportunity. So we still don't know if he'll be on the team or not.
I think probably will be. The Rockies have me perplexed. Scott went to the hot stove this past weekend, and
it's kind of a cold stove.
It's kind of a cold stove.
I don't think it is.
If Mark Reynolds is the hottest they're getting, I don't know if that's.
Ottavino's gone. DJ LeMahieu's gone.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad, man.
I think
Ottavino was awesome.
I think they're going to be.
He wasn't 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like he was one of
the
worst pitchers in the league.
Yeah, he was pretty shitty. He had a good year last year, but you know what? He might get to the Bronx and he might totally flame out.
He may.
Although number one Yankees fan Chris Snyder is listening now, and he's probably overjoyed that he can now root for his Yankee boys DJ and Ottavino.
So I'm at this hot stove, right? So up on the stage
is this a club?
Well, apparently it is
at the hot stove.
So our buddy Charlie Blackmon, right? He says to everyone in this room, he said, "Hey," and I believe him, and he's serious, and he's like, "Hey, if I'm a Rockies fan, I'm really excited about this year. Like this is the year. Our pitching is going to be better than last year." And I hear the Ottavino thing, right? It's a drag. They spent all that money on Shaw. Hopefully Shaw works out. We'll see. I know it's we'll see what happens there. But
second worst Brian Shaw in Denver history.
Daniel Murphy, while a complete shithead, is a really good fucking offensive ball player.
He is. And I can tell you this, too, because a lot of questions are brought up about Daniel Murphy, and everyone unanimously talked about what a great guy he is.
Oh, they love him. He's such a great teammate. Unless, of course, you're chugging fucking, what's his name's cock from the Broncos. So
true. I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there. But he does bring a better bat than certainly what that Desmond had at first base. God. They're probably going to move Desmond to center, right? Probably. That's the one question I did ask was.
If he hates gays that much, he probably is gay. Well, it tends to be a rule.
There was the guy who did the gay conversion, and he decided he was gay, and he came out and said he left his wife and became gay. So yeah.
But Charlie is excited for sure.
That's great.
I don't think he would really just say that and bring that out with unprompted. If he truly didn't feel it was going to happen, Charlie got me excited.
I know they're never gonna move Desmond. They're stuck with that because of a horrible contract. But if they could get rid of him, and I know this is total fan bullshit, and most people that tweet it, like Jake Shapiro or like Drew Creasman, they get this type of thing all the time. But if they could get rid of fucking Desmond, if they could get rid of him, I would feel so much better about it because that was just a fucking catastrophe. And I think,
but contracts are changing. So when you're seeing the Rockies not jump on contracts right now, I think it's a good thing. Wow. So they're waiting for things to play out. I hope they bring Nolan back. I hope they bring in some key veterans. I have some confidence. I really do.
I think the pitchers are good. I think they'll stay at the level they were, if not a little better.
They will be better. because they're so young.
Do you think Nolan will sign an extension?
I do.
I don't know. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
If he does, I have to get a tattoo.
Oh, he might sign an extension. They might give him, because he'll play this year. He's got this year, and they might give him through arbitration. They might give him another year.
There's no more. No, he's this is it. He's a free agent
at the end of this year. Yeah, but they went to some arbitration recently, and they didn't come to some agreement. Right. So I don't know how it works. But if they don't get him, that would be a crime. I think that if they can, I don't even know if they should trade him. I don't know. I really think they should keep him. He's very good. I think he'll be good for a long time. Again, we were talking before we started. Baseball is kind of one of those things where you can spend as much money as you want, right? It's like there's a ton of money available.
Not the Rockies.
But the thing is like I've seen how much beer and fucking Dippin' Dots they sell. They can fucking afford it. Right. They can afford to pay him whatever, and then they can cover everybody else.
So the Rockies have a new TV deal coming.
Yeah,
I know this through Jake Shapiro.
Do this because we got to get going.
Well, sure. Yeah. This is the end here. But it's coming up here, which means they could have a lot more money. Because right now they're getting about $10 million a year in television.
That's fucking nothing.
$10 million a year, where the Dodgers are getting closer to $300 million a year.
$300 million
versus 10.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. So the Rockies are at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah. If they could increase that by fucking 30 million, I mean, that would be like
something, right?
Yeah.
But they could Altitude Sports land the Rockies broadcast. I think that would be fabulous. You got your Avalanche, Nuggets, and Rockies all in one network, and the way the games are spaced out, they could handle that. It would be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but anyway, as we get into this winter, we're almost into February, which is great because we're getting through it.
Springtime's coming.
The sun's it's staying a little lighter later. I like that. It gives me hope.
I think opening day, first Rockies game is less than 60 days away. It's less than 2 months away.
You're right.
Pitchers and catchers report in 14 days.
That's absolutely. So I'm excited for it. That's something to look forward to, and that's something we'll be covering here very soon. What's nice is we can cover some Nuggets here down the stretch too. So when we come back, we do a next show. We can talk some Nuggets. I'm sure we'll have plenty of Broncos talks, plenty of Mike Klis tweets to talk about. We can do it all. So
Mike Klis tweets are the best.
I know. I love them. So this has been fun. It's been good getting back into it. Hopefully we can get back to it soon. I was like being with you fellas. It's always a good time. So hopefully everyone out there enjoyed it. So if anyone has anything else, we can wrap it up, and I can say this has been the South Stands Denver Fancast. Adios.
We love you.